Imagine the lights dimming, the camera zooming in, and the tension so thick you could slice it with a knife. On tonight's episode of Nightcap, the unthinkable happened. Unc and Ocho went head-to-head in a heated, no-holds-barred debate that left the entire sports world buzzing. The topic? Travis Hunter. But not just any ordinary conversation about his talent. No, this debate spiraled into chaos when the question was raised. Could Travis Hunter actually pull off the impossible, winning both Offensive Rookie of the Year and Defensive Rookie of the Year in the same season? What started as playful banter quickly turned into an explosive war of words. Fans were stunned as Unc's calm analysis clashed with Ocho's fiery passion. Voices were raised, fingers were pointed, and at one point it felt less like a sports debate and more like a family feud unraveling live on camera. Viewers watched in shock as accusations flew, emotions boiled over, and the once lighthearted set of Nightcap became a battlefield of egos and pride. And just when you thought it couldn't get any more intense, a shocking revelation about Travis Hunter's inner circle threatened to flip the entire conversation upside down. Tonight, we break it all down. The cameras were rolling, the audience was leaning forward, and the tension in the studio was undeniable. Unc sat back in his chair with that trademark calmness, but behind his steady eyes, there was fire. Across from him, Ocho leaned in, gesturing wildly, his voice rising with every sentence as though he were trying to speak directly into the hearts of millions watching. The topic seemed simple at first. Could Travis Hunter, the young phenom, actually achieve the unimaginable feat of being crowned both Offensive Rookie of the Year and Defensive Rookie of the Year in the same season? But this wasn't just a debate about football, it was about pride, legacy, and a battle of egos that threatened to shatter the very foundation of the show. The atmosphere quickly turned electric when Unc questioned the very idea. It's not realistic, he said slowly, his tone laced with skepticism. Football has rules, traditions, and history. You don't just rewrite the record books because a kid had a couple of flashy games. Winning one award is hard enough. Winning both? That's a fairy tale. His words were calm but heavy, and every syllable seemed to cut through the air like a blade. The audience murmured, some nodding in agreement, others shaking their heads furiously. Ocho, however, wasn't about to let it slide. He slammed his hand on the desk, startling even the production crew. You don't get it, Unc, he shot back, his eyes blazing with intensity. This ain't no fairy tale. This is reality. Travis Hunter ain't just another rookie, he's rewriting what it means to even play this game. Offense, defense, it doesn't matter. He's dominating both sides of the ball like nobody we've ever seen. And you're telling me he can't take both crowns? Please. You sound like one of those old heads too stuck in the past to see what's happening right in front of your face. The crowd gasped, fans online immediately flooding social media with clips of the exchange. Some fans sided with Unc, arguing that the history books and past legends had to mean something. Others backed Ocho, praising his passion and insisting that Hunter was breaking boundaries. Twitter erupted with hashtags like #TeamUNC and #TeamOCHO. And suddenly, the debate became bigger than football, it became a cultural moment. But what made the scene even more dramatic was the personal undertone in their words. Unc wasn't just defending tradition. He was defending his legacy as someone who'd lived through the grind of the NFL. To him, it wasn't about doubting Hunter, it was about respecting the sacrifices of countless players who'd come before. Meanwhile, Ocho saw himself in Hunter. He saw the same fire, the same determination to defy odds and silence critics. In a way, this debate wasn't even about Hunter. It was about themselves, their pasts, their struggles, their own scars from the game. At one point, the tension boiled so high that producers considered cutting to a commercial early. Ocho leaned forward so close that his face nearly touched Unc's, his voice trembling with frustration. You act like I don't know the game, like I didn't put in the work. But I see something in that kid, Unc. I see greatness, and you can't deny it. You can't take it away from him just because it doesn't fit your old school narrative. Unc leaned back, folding his arms, his silence deafening. When he finally spoke, his words dripped with controlled anger. I never denied his greatness. I'm saying greatness doesn't always mean awards. And sometimes the hype can destroy a kid before he even realizes what's happening. Are you willing to put that weight on him? To crown him with expectations so heavy that if he falls short, it ruins him? The studio fell silent for a moment. Even Ocho froze, the question lingering in the air like a storm cloud. Fans watching at home could feel the weight of Unk's words. It wasn't just a debate anymore, it was a warning. Yet, as the pause stretched, Ocho shook his head, his voice softer now but still firm. Sometimes the ones who are truly great are the ones who can carry that weight. Travis Hunter ain't just playing for stats, he's playing for history. And if you can't see that, then maybe you're afraid. Maybe you're afraid because you know if he does it, it'll change everything we thought we knew about the game. The accusation hit Unk like a punch to the gut. Fans online replayed that line over and over again, claiming it was the moment. The debate shifted from professional to personal. The chat section during the live stream blew up with comments like Ocho went too far and Unk about to snap. And then, almost like fate, a producer whispered something into Unk's earpiece. The look on his face changed instantly. His calm demeanor cracked, replaced by a flash of disbelief. Unk shook his head, then smirked bitterly. "You want to talk? About weight? About history?" he said, turning toward Ocho with a glare. "Well, let's talk about what's really going on behind the scenes with Travis Hunter. Because if you knew what I just found out, you wouldn't be so quick to crown him king." The entire set froze. Ocho blinked in confusion, leaning back slightly. "What you mean by that? What you trying to say, Unk?" he demanded. UNC didn't answer right away. Instead, he let the silence build, let the tension grow unbearable. Then he leaned in, lowering his voice just enough to make everyone lean closer. "Let's just say the people closest to Hunter, the ones in his own circle, ain't as supportive as you think. There's cracks forming, disagreements about his future, and trust me, if that family drama spills into the spotlight, this debate won't even matter, because the kid won't stand a chance." Gasps filled the studio. The audience erupted, and social media instantly lit up with wild theories. Was Unk hinting at a feud inside Hunter's family? Was there a betrayal brewing behind the scenes? Nobody knew for sure, but the revelation added a dangerous new layer to the debate. Ocho slammed the desk again, his frustration reaching a breaking point. "Man, stop playing games. If you got something to say it. Don't sit there dropping half-truths to make yourself look right. The people deserve the full story." But Unk only smirked, his silence more damning than any words could be. And just like that, the first round of this fiery debate ended not with resolution, but with more questions than answers. Fans were left torn, divided between believing in the miracle of Hunter's potential and fearing the unseen shadows threatening to destroy it all. The stage was set for an even more explosive continuation, and everyone watching knew this was only the beginning. Would Hunter's brilliance shine bright enough to silence the doubts, or would the hidden turmoil behind the scenes unravel everything before it even began? The next chapter of this story was about to reveal just how deep the cracks went. The camera zoomed in on Unk's face, his smirk still lingering, his eyes betraying the satisfaction of having dropped a bombshell without fully explaining it. The audience sat on the edge of their seats, and social media was ablaze with wild theories. Was there really turmoil in Travis Hunter's inner circle, or was Unk playing mind games to win the debate against Ocho? Ocho wasn't about to let the moment pass. He leaned forward, jabbing a finger in Unk's direction, his voice rising with every word. "Nah, see, this is what you do. You throw out some vague drama, get everybody hyped, and act like you know something nobody else does. If you got real facts, spill them. Don't sit here trying to tarnish that boy's name just to win an argument. That's weak, Unk." The crowd roared, half cheering for Ocho's fiery defense, half waiting for Unk to clap back. Unk didn't waste time. Weak? Nah, what's weak is ignoring the truth because it doesn't fit the fairy tale you're trying to sell. I know people close to Hunter. I've talked to folks who've been in the room who've heard the arguments. His family and his team don't all agree on what's best for him. Some want him to keep playing both sides of the ball, others say it's reckless and will burn him out before he even reaches his prime. Those are real concerns, not fairy tales. And if that tension keeps growing, it's only a matter of time before it blows up. The revelation hit like lightning. Fans were stunned. Was Hunter caught in a tug-of-war between loyalty to his dreams and pressure from those guiding his career? The whispers of family drama suddenly seemed real, and the idea of winning both awards became more complicated than anyone imagined. Ocho's eyes widened, his voice shaking with a mix of anger and disbelief. So what, Unk? You think a little disagreement behind closed doors is gonna stop him from being great? You think every legend that came before didn't deal with haters, doubters, even their own people pulling them in different directions? Greatness ain't about a smooth path. It's about walking through fire and still shining. His words struck a chord with the audience, many of whom began chanting Hunter's name. Yet Unk wasn't convinced. He leaned forward, lowering his voice so it carried more weight. The difference is, Hunter is carrying double the load. Offense and defense, expectations from fans, pressure from his family, and now the media circus that people like you keep fueling. Sometimes too much fire don't make you shine brighter, it burns you out. Ocho clenched his fists, visibly shaking with frustration. For the first time, it seemed like the debate was hitting him personally, as if he wasn't just defending Hunter, but also defending himself. You sound just like the people who told me I couldn't. You sound just like the ones who doubted me when I wanted to push limits. Maybe that's the real problem here. You don't believe because deep down, you never wanted anyone to do what they said couldn't be done. The crowd gasped again, stunned at the raw emotion in Ocho's words. It was as if the debate had unlocked old wounds, personal battles fought long before this night. Unk didn't flinch, but his jaw tightened. His silence speaking volumes. Then, as if the universe wanted to pour gasoline on the fire, a producer interrupted with breaking news. A message flashed on the screen. Travis Hunter responds. The studio erupted as fans screamed in disbelief. Had Hunter really weighed in on the drama live? The statement was read aloud. I appreciate the love, but I'm focused on my game. I believe in myself, I believe in my team, and I know what I'm capable of. No matter what's said, I'll let my play speak for itself. The words were simple, but the impact was massive. Fans cheered. Ocho raised his hands in triumph, shouting, "See, that's greatness. That's what I'm talking about." The boy ain't running from it, he's embracing it. But Unk wasn't moved. He shook his head slowly, a bitter smile forming. Words are easy. Playing the game under all that pressure, that's the real test. We'll see if he still feels the same when the weight of history comes crashing down. The debate spiraled into a heated exchange, both men talking over each other, their voices echoing across the studio. You can't stop destiny, Ocho yelled. You can't rewrite reality, Unk fired back. The crowd was split, some chanting Ocho, Ocho, while others shouted Unk, Unk. It was no longer just a debate, it was a full-blown battle for who controlled the narrative around Travis Hunter's future behind the cameras. Even the crew whispered about the chaos. One producer was overheard saying, "This isn't a sports show anymore, it's a war zone." As the shouting match hit its peak, the unthinkable happened. A member of Travis Hunter's extended family reportedly called into the studio hotline demanding to be heard. The producers scrambled, unsure whether to allow it, but the pressure was too great. Fans wanted more, and drama was boiling over when the call was patched through. A woman's voice came over the speakers, trembling but firm. "I'm not here to expose Travis," she began, "but I can't sit back and watch lies get spread. The truth is, yes, we've argued. Yes, not everyone agrees on how much he should take on. But don't get it twisted, our family loves him and we want what's best. The only reason we disagree is because we care. Don't make it sound like we're tearing him down." The studio went silent, every eye turning toward Unk. His confident smirk faded, replaced with something closer to discomfort. Ocho leaned back, arms folded, a triumphant grin on his face. There it is, straight from the source. You tried to spin it like some big betrayal, but really it's just family looking out for each other. And if anything, that makes Travis even stronger. He ain't alone, he got people fighting for him. Unk sighed, shaking his head, clearly caught off guard. But instead of backing down, he doubled down. Families can love each other and still break under pressure. I've seen it happen too many times. What starts as love can turn into control. Don't act like it can't happen here. The phone line went dead, but the damage, or perhaps the drama, was already done. Fans watching online exploded with opinions. Some praised Unk for exposing the cracks in Hunter's circle, while others accused him of exaggerating to make a point. Meanwhile, Ocho basked in the glory of being backed by the family voice. His confidence growing by the second. The debate raged on, more personal than ever. Unk and Ocho weren't just arguing about Hunter anymore, they were fighting over what greatness even meant. Was it about defying the impossible, or was it about respecting the limits that history had laid down? As the cameras zoomed out and the segment ended, fans were left with even more questions than answers. Hunter's response had calmed some, the family call had stirred others, and the clash between Unk and Ocho had reached levels nobody expected. But one thing was clear: the storm was far from over. The next part of this explosive showdown promised to reveal even deeper cracks, bigger revelations, and a twist that would leave fans questioning everything they thought they knew, as if they, too, felt the weight of the moment. Unk sat forward now, no longer leaning back in his calm, composed posture. The smirk was gone, his eyes sharpened like blades. Across the table, Ocho grinned, feeding off the crowd's energy, his chest puffed, like a man convinced he'd just landed the knockout punch. But the debate was only halfway through, and the real storm was yet to hit. "See, Unk," Ocho said with that signature swagger, "this is why people love me and why they side with me. I speak from the heart, I speak for the fans. I speak for every dreamer who ever wanted to break the mold. And Travis Hunter is that dream walking. He ain't just playing the game, he's redefining it. And you? You sound like the bitter old guard scared of being forgotten." The audience erupted with cheers, but Unk didn't flinch. He leaned forward, his voice low, deliberate, slicing through the noise. "You want to talk about forgotten? Let me remind you of something, Ocho. Hype is a dangerous drug. I've seen it ruin more young stars than I can count. And right now, y'all are feeding Hunter so much hype, it's like setting fire to dry grass. One wrong move, one injury, one scandal, and it all burns down. And when that happens, where will you be? Where will the fans be? Gone, moved on to the next shiny thing, leaving him alone in the ashes." The words landed heavy, the crowd's cheers quieting into murmurs. Social media timelines froze for a moment as fans debated furiously. Was Unk spitting cold truth or just pouring cold water on a once-in-a-lifetime talent? Ocho, though, refused to back down. His voice cracked with emotion now, his bravado slipping into something raw. "You don't get it, Unk. You think this is about hype. This is about hope. When people watch Travis, they see something bigger than football. They see a kid proving you can do it all, that limits are meant to be shattered. You want to talk about drugs? That hope is addictive. And I ain't about to be the one to tell people to stop dreaming." The crowd roared again, and for the first time, Unk's eyes flickered with something close to pain. It wasn't anger, it was memory. Everyone could feel it. The debate had gone deeper than Hunter now. It had become a mirror for both men's livestock. Then came the twist nobody expected. A producer rushed to the table with a note, sliding it discreetly toward Unk. He read it, his face tightening, and then he looked straight into the camera. "Since we're being real tonight," he said slowly, "let me tell you all what just came across my desk. Apparently, someone close to Hunter's training camp is claiming he's been playing through an injury. Not serious enough to sideline him yet, but serious enough that if he keeps doubling up on offense and defense, he could be risking his future." Gasps filled the studio. Ocho's jaw dropped, his hands slamming on the table. "Nah, man, you can't do that. You can't just drop a bomb like that without proof. That's reckless, Unk. You trying to ruin this kid?" Unk's tone was unshakable. "I'm not trying to ruin him. I'm trying to protect him. If he's hurt and still being pushed to carry both sides, then the people hyping him up are the ones putting him at risk. And that includes you, Ocho." The accusation sliced through the air like lightning. Ocho stood from his chair, pacing, his voice breaking as he shouted, "Don't you dare put that on me. Don't you dare. I've been nothing but supportive. I've been telling this kid to chase his destiny, to silence the doubters. You think encouragement is dangerous? Now, what's dangerous is people like you, always preaching limits, always trying to clip wings before they even spread. The studio audience was divided again, some booing Unk, others nodding in grim agreement. Social media erupted into chaos, with trending hashtags like #ProtectHunter and #LetTravisFly battling for dominance. And then, almost as if fate demanded, the drama escalate. The show producers announced they had secured a surprise guest for the segment, a former teammate of Unk's, someone who had lived through the grind and the hype firsthand. The curtain parted, And in walked a retired NFL player whose career had ended prematurely due to injury after being hyped as the next big thing. The room went silent. The player's presence was enough to make even Ocho pause. He sat down between them, his voice calm but tinged with regret. "I know what this feels like," he began. "When I was young, everybody told me I could do it all. Offense, defense, special teams, you name it. And for a while, I believed it. But my body couldn't keep up. One bad play, one torn ligament, and it was over. The hype was gone, the fans disappeared, and I was left wondering what could have been. I don't want to see Travis Hunter become me." Unc nodded, a quiet vindication in his eyes. But Ocho leaned forward, his tone softer now but still defiant. "I hear you, I respect you, but Travis ain't you. He's built different. Maybe the world wasn't ready for you, but it's ready for him. And if he plays scared, if he limits himself, then he'll never be the legend he's meant to be. Sometimes you gotta take risks to change history." The tension in the room was unbearable. Fans were torn. Was Unc right to urge caution, or was Ocho right to push for fearless greatness? The retired player sighed, shaking his head. "Maybe. But remember, these legends aren't just made by what they achieve. Sometimes they're defined by how long they last. The greatest gift Travis Hunter could give the game is longevity, not just a single season of fireworks." The words hung heavy, like smoke refusing to clear. Unc nodded solemnly while Ocho sat back, his grin finally fading. For the first time, doubt crept into his eyes, and just when it seemed the segment might end on that somber note, the retired player added one last twist. "And don't think the NFL isn't watching. I've heard whispers teams, sponsors, even league officials worried about how much he's being used. If this keeps up, there might be pressure from the top to make a choice, offense or defense. Both won't be on the table forever." The audience gasped again. The idea that the league itself might intervene was a twist no one saw coming. Ocho threw his hands up in frustration. "So that's it? The suits in the NFL get to decide how this young man writes his story? Nah, I ain't buying that. Greatness can't be boxed in by rules and politics. The game should bend for players like him, not the other way around." Unc, however, looked directly at the camera, his tone chillingly serious. And that's the tragedy. Because sometimes, no matter how much talent you have, the system swallows you whole. And if that happens to Hunter, no amount of hype will save him. The crowd erupted in conflicting emotions, boos and cheers clashing like thunder. The debate had gone far beyond football. It was now about destiny, sacrifice, and whether one young man could fight against the weight of history and the system itself. As the camera zoomed in for the final shot of the segment, the tension was at its absolute peak. Fans watching at home couldn't look away, knowing the next part would either cement Travis Hunter as a mythic figure in the saga or expose the cracks that could shatter his rise. The crowd buzzed like a hive, social media feeds were on fire. And even the crew looked overwhelmed as they scrambled to keep the show on track. Unc sat rigid in his chair, his expression a mix of frustration and grim certainty, while Ocho stood defiantly, still pacing back and forth, unable to sit still, under the weight of what had just been revealed. The retired player's warning about the NFL stepping in had left everyone rattled, but the debate wasn't over. It was only about to reach its most explosive peak. Ocho finally stopped pacing, slanting his palms on the desk and leaning so close to the camera that his voice felt like it was coming straight into every living room watching. "Listen to me and listen good. I don't care what the NFL says, I don't care what the suits say, and I sure don't care what Unc says. This ain't about rules, this ain't about fear. This is about destiny. Travis Hunter has a chance to do something no one has ever done. He can take both those awards and prove that limits are nothing but excuses. If he pulls it off, he ain't just a player, he's a legend written in real time." The audience erupted in cheers, chanting Hunter's name. Some even stood on their chairs, fists pumping in the air as if they were witnessing history unfold in the studio itself. Ocho soaked it in, his eyes shining with conviction, his voice trembling with passion, but Unc wasn't moved. He leaned forward, his tone low and cold, the kind of voice that silences even the loudest rooms. "And if he fails, what then, Ocho? What happens when he breaks under the weight of all these expectations? When he becomes another young star whose story ends too soon? Will you still be shouting his name then, or will you move on to the next kid? Because that's what fans do." They cheer, they worship, but the moment you fall, they disappear. I've seen it too many times, and I won't stand here and pretend it won't happen again. His words cut through the cheers like a knife. The crowd quieted, whispers spreading as people replayed Unk's warning in their minds. Online, fans debated. Furiously, was Unk being the voice of reason or the voice of fear? Ocho shook his head, his voice rising once more. No, you don't get it, Unk. If Travis wins, even once, even just this one time, it'll be enough. It'll be history no one can erase. Even if the future's uncertain, the impact will last. Forever, some moments are bigger than longevity. Some legends are born not because they last, but because they shine so bright they blind the world. The retired player, still seated between them, raised a hand to calm the storm, but his voice carried a warning. I understand both sides, but you both are missing something. This isn't just about Travis anymore. This debate has become about you too. Unk, you're fighting for tradition, for respect, for the sacrifices of the past. Ocho, you're fighting for the dream, for the possibility of breaking barriers. But the real danger? In this war between you, Travis is the one caught in the middle. The studio went silent. For the first time all night, both Unk and Ocho looked shaken. The realization that their egos, their need to win the debate, might be overshadowing the very player they were arguing about hit hard, but just when it seemed like the tension might break into understanding. The producers dropped one final twist-a video message from Travis Hunter himself. The lights dimmed, the crowd hushed, and the giant screen flickered to life. There he was, calm, composed, but with fire in his eyes. I've been watching, Hunter began, his voice steady. I see the debates, I hear the arguments, and I know what people are saying. But let me make one thing clear, I'm not playing this game for awards, for debates, or for anyone else's approval. I'm playing because I love it. Offense, defense, whatever my coaches ask of me, I'm here to give everything. If that leads to both awards, then so be it. If not, that's fine too. Because at the end of the day, my legacy isn't decided by Unk or Ocho or even the fans. It's decided by me on that field. The crowd exploded in cheers, some even in tears. Ocho clapped furiously, pointing at the screen, shouting, "That's it! That's greatness right there." Unk, however, sat in silence, his jaw tight. But his eyes betrayed something different: respect. For the first time, he had no comeback. The video ended. The lights came back up, and the studio buzzed with energy that felt almost electric. The debate between Unk and Ocho had reached its end, but not because one had defeated the other. It ended because the very person they were fighting over had taken control of his own story. Ocho leaned back in his chair, satisfied, whispering to himself, "That's my guy." Unk finally spoke, his voice softer than it had been all night. If he believes that, then maybe he's stronger than I gave him credit for. But I still pray he don't carry more than he can handle. The retired player nodded, summing up the sentiment of the entire room. Maybe that's the beauty of it. Maybe greatness isn't about being right or wrong, it's about daring to try. The camera zoomed out, capturing the three men, the divided but electrified audience, and the energy of a debate that had spiraled into something bigger than football. Fans watching at home were left breathless, their minds racing with questions. Could Travis Hunter truly do the impossible? Would he emerge as the hero Ocho believed him to be, or would Unk's warnings prove true? And so, after all the shouting, the revelations, the family drama, and even Travis Hunter himself stepping into the conversation, one thing is clear: this story is far from over. Unk and Ocho gave us fireworks tonight, but the real explosion will come on the field. Will Travis truly become the first player to ever snatch both Offensive Rookie of the Year and Defensive Rookie of the Year? Or will the pressure, the politics, and the whispers of injury prove too heavy to carry? Fans are left divided, the families under the microscope, and the NFL world is buzzing louder than ever. Some believe we're witnessing history in the making, others think we're watching a tragedy waiting to unfold. Either way, Travis Hunter's name is etched into the conversation forever. But now it's your turn. What do you think? Can Hunter pull off the impossible and claim both awards in the same season, or is Unk right? Are we pushing too much weight onto his shoulders too soon? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now, because we want to hear every side of this drama. And if you love this breakdown of all the chaos, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss the next wild twist in the story. Trust me, with the way things are going, you won't want to miss what happens next. Stay tuned because the drama is only just beginning.